Harry, great to see you again. Last time I talked to you was for the Hot Zone Anthrax 2 years
Oh,
ago.
right. During
So
the pandemic.
yeah, yeah. Then it looks like we're still on virtual interviews.
So we are. Yeah.
But Unsinkable, amazing story, amazing audio series. What was it like to be a part of this, especially as a when you for your mindset going in? Is it the same as in acting, or is it a little different mindset into a series like this?
It's a little bit different because it's all vocal, it's all audio. We did it during the pandemic, so we were all solo. We were never together. But I was fascinated by the story. The story of the San Demetrio is like this. This ship should have gone down, right? I mean, there's no reason why it stayed afloat, like, other than the heroism of these people who fought to keep it afloat and fought to keep it going. So, I thought the story was fantastic, and I loved the character that they asked me to play. John Mawson and I know I've been in acting class for the last 40 years. I've never not gone to class, and he's in the class that I go to. So I know John from that, and we've worked together in scenes in the class. And he asked me to play this part, and I said, absolutely, why not? Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about your character, Abel Seaman Mortimer, and his involvement in the story.
Well, I mean, an able seaman. I'm not exactly sure how you describe an able seaman, but he was quite unable at the beginning because he was an alcoholic, as you can see from the story. His rum was the most important thing in his life. But as time went on, and I don't know how many episodes you've been able to see, but he becomes he gets himself together, and he becomes a pivotal reason why the thing succeeded.
Yeah, and the one thing I love about the series, and especially with the voice acting and the way they did it with spatial audio, Dolby Atmos, is you feel like you're a part of this radio series, kind of like a throwback, but you're more engulfed. To be a part of something like this where it's using sound and to spatialize the scenes with no visual, what was it like to be a part of that in the recording process, and then when you hear it back to experience that yourself?
Well, I actually haven't heard it back yet. Um, uh, it hasn't been. I think it's released today, right?
Yeah, it's released today.
But I have not been given a copy of it to listen to, so I don't. I haven't heard it yet. But the process of recording it, is like any other audio situation. And I've done, quite a few of those things in my life where you're just in a studio with a headphone, and it's somewhat different. Trying to find the right levels and finding the right accent for the character, because I'm not an able seaman. I'm not a British
Yeah.
alcoholic, so I had to find that. But no, it was a as far as the experience goes, it was very professional.
Yeah, because when I'm listening to it, it's just something that that's why it always, and I when I did the interview with the creators and the showrunner for this, it reminded me of those old radio series from back in the day in a new modern time, and it just really pulls you in. And I think it's going to really touch a new generation of fans who never got to experience that. How do you feel about that with like these? Hopefully, this is the start of rebuilding these type of audio series.
Well, it could be. There's in Los Angeles we have an outfit called the LA Theater Works. I don't know if you've heard of that or not. It started out as the LA Classic Theater Works back in the '80s, and I was the one of the original members of it. Um, Now it's just called the LA Theater Works, and we do radio plays, several a year, maybe more than several. I've done a bunch for them, as being a founding member of that company. Um, and I think they get a good audience. They get good play, and whether or not this is going to reignite audio listening experiences, I don't know. It may or it may not.
Yeah, well, I hope so because I remember growing up as a kid when they did that little Star Wars audio series. Shows my age right there, but I remember that, and I remember how fun it was to listen to it on in the car with my dad driving around.
Huh.
and it
Huh.
was such a great experience for me. And now that as I'm older, it's a great. This series really does give you a great experience. But before I let you go, I have to ask, you got a great cast with this, John Malkovich, Brian Cox, yourself, to be a part of these amazing actors who are a part of the series. What has it been like?
Well, here's the thing. We shot it and we did it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So we were never together.
Hmm.
We were never in the same room together and never in the same studio together. And everyone was masked and everything had to be separated. And, you know, it was like, you remember what it was like.
Yeah.
This was the height of the pandemic.
Hmm.
So um, uh, I have no relationship with any of the other actors in the
Hmm.
show.
Yeah. So with that, is it good like to just be able to isolate yourself into it, or are you the type of actor who would rather prefer working next to somebody and getting
Oh,
that feedback?
sure. Always, always rather prefer doing it with the other people
Mhm.
in person, but it was just impossible to do that because,
Yeah. Yeah.
COVID.
Hmm.
So,
Exactly.
but I think, from what I hear, that didn't make much of a difference in
Mhm.
the show. I mean, it actually, even though we were all separate and not in the same room, it doesn't appear that way or doesn't sound that way in the recording, though I haven't heard it
Yeah. Definitely hear it. I love it. I think you can't
yet.
you can't tell at all that
Oh,
you're
good,
isolated
good.
and just doing yourself. It's really seamless, and I love it. Harry, thank you so much for stopping with us again. We really appreciate it.
Sure.
You're always welcome, especially since growing up, Clash of the Titans. I was 6 years old when it came out, and then I know now why all these great movies of the late 70s, early 80s, why it gets you interested into being in film and what got me into wanting to be a part of this and being in
Oh,
film.
good, 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 good.
But
Well, I'm glad of that.
yeah, so thank you so much, and we look forward to talking with you again soon.
Okay, cool, man. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
See you later.